Alright, welcome back to the channel everybody. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your day. So we're going to do something that's a little bit different on this video. If you are new to the channel, I appreciate you stopping on by. If you've been around, appreciate you sticking out for the long haul. So we still got the breeding projects happening, but I want to talk to you guys possibly, if you guys are curious, into stepping up into different snakes, and you guys might be a little bit nervous about it or a little bit curious about it. So we all have to start somewhere. I still am not an expert on anything. I'm still learning a lot about these animals every single day. And a lot of you guys, like me, started out as a first snake as a ball python because you were pressured into it. You were talked into ball pythons being amazing, which they are. I have like 30 of them. And they're the perfect snake for a beginner, which sometimes is not always true. Sometimes you'll get a fantastic snake that will eat no problem. And sometimes you get a ball python that can be super stubborn, one that does not like to eat anything but live, or they go off of food because your housing setup is different than what PetSmart has told you or what you saw on the internet, because everybody in the internet thinks they have the right solutions and that they are an expert, which nobody is. Everybody's learning something different about these animals every year. Even the people who make millions of dollars on these animals are still learning different things about them and stuff like that. So this is a Superfly clown. It's the Super Pastel Fire Clown. It's a 2001. So we're getting some size on her. She's almost 900 grams and she's almost 2 years old, or pretty much is 2 years old. So this is basically what you can expect out of a 2-year-old ball python. None of my snakes are power fed or overfed, so depending on other channels that you see, these sizes may vary depending on what the species are. So ball pythons, yeah, they're cool, but you might have gotten pressured into one, like I said, but you kind of want something else. And this is not for the breeders, this is more for the hobbyists like me. Even though I'm trying to get into breeding, I'm still a hobbyist and I still do this for fun. I make no money on this, so I would not consider myself to be a breeder or anything like that, and I also don't have any babies. But you want to get something else. So let's look into that. And if you're completely new to any ball pythons, and yes, the cell block is behind me. If you guys have problems with racks, then this is not the area to be, we're not going to have that discussion right now. So this is a baby ball python. This is about the size that you're going to get when you get one online or at the pet store or something like that from a breeder. But this is basically just a couple months old. She's eating very well. She's on live. So I know a lot of people don't like that or can't handle feeding live. So that's something else that you have to watch out for when you get a new snake, of what it's going to eat. So that's an albino pied. But let's look into maybe we're wanting to get the next level, which would probably be a python, or I'm sorry, a boa constrictor. And we'll look at that too. So we have a 2021, a last year's baby, at right here, VPI Jungle. So you can see the size on these compared to the ball pythons. They're a lot smaller as their babies. They're not power fed. They're fed every 10 to 14 days. And of course their sizes will vary, how you feed them, the species, and everything like that. But basically at over a year old, this is how big it is. So they don't get massive really fast. You can have one, you can enjoy them, and you can keep them at a very good size. This is, like I said, this is smaller than a ball python. So this one is, we'll look at a 2021 ball python comparison. She might just stay shriveled up and do a little ball, but you can see right there comparison. So a lot of people might say boas get big, boas get massive super fast. Well, ball pythons get obviously a lot bigger quickly, but they don't get as big and they don't stay as big. So there's a little baby, and then we'll go look at a bigger one. All right, so here's a 4-year-old boa. This is an Argentine boa, and pretty much at this age, all your boas are gonna be basically this big. So basically 3 years, you're gonna get a pretty decent sized snake. She's probably 6 feet, 7 feet. But they normally top out around 8 or 9. So they're not completely massive. They're handleable. They're very easy to put in a 4x2. But just know that if you buy a boa at that small size, they will get to this big, or get this size. So this girl is very nice. when she's out of her cage, docile. You can get some grumpy boas, and you can get some grumpy ball pythons. So it's really not one is more attitudinal than the other. But just so you guys know, around the 3 to 4 years, they're going to get this size. All right, maybe you don't like boa constrictors, but you like the pythons, and you really wanted a Burmese, but you were talking to a ball python, but you really want that Burmese, and now you're thinking about getting one. So they do start off pretty small like the balls, but obviously they can grow very quickly, depending on how you feed them. This girl is, how old is she? I want to say she's 3. Right now she's 3 years old. So decent size, not massive, not a 12-foot giant. She doesn't weigh 1,000 pounds. That's because I don't pump her full of food. But she does eat regularly, and she eats proper sized meals. And at this size, she's not that much bigger than the boa that I just had out. But in the next 2 to 3 years, she's going to double in size, and they can see 15, 16 feet at probably 100 pounds, if not a little bit more. So be aware of that. But, if you see a Burm at a reptile show, just know in about 3 years, they're going to get this size, and they can get this size in a year. So you can get a 9-foot boa or a 9-foot Burm in the first year if you pump it full of food. But if you want them to last, then just feed it how you would feed a normal snake. And yeah, that's about it on the Burmese. Beautiful snakes. This is a pearl. So it's a hypo and the albino mixed together. She's super sweet, super docile. But obviously, if you're going to get a Burm, you should know that they get very, very big. But if the Burms aren't what you want, I got something else for you. If that's not your thing and you really want to go big, well, why don't we just go ahead and get the Anaconda, the green Anaconda. So this is a male. It's about a year old. The females get a little bit bigger than this, around a year. But I'm not going to have him out too long because he likes to bite, and I don't want to get bitten. I'm probably going to get bit anyways, but here he is. Not any significant size on him, but they can be a little bit nasty, so I'm going to put him back. Phew, alright, so that tiny little Anaconda that you just saw sitting at the table at a vendor's desk, this is a 3-year-old female. The males do stay much smaller, but the females, this girl's pushing probably 9 feet. She probably weighs about 15 pounds of pure muscle, and she's gorgeous. She's super sweet, super docile. But just know, in 3 years, you're gonna have a monster. So that little ball python that you first got, that I first got, kind of triggered all that, and we got this girl. So if the ball pythons are kind of getting boring to you, or you want something different, then those options may work out for you. Just know that some of these snakes do get big very quickly. They eat a lot. It takes a lot to maintain these snakes. But I would not say that these snakes cannot be owned by anybody, because I'm not an expert on anything, and these girls are doing just fine. So she's on rabbits, guinea pigs. The bill does get a little pricey, so put that into your next, if you're doing like a list or whatever, pros and cons on what snake you want to get, add that on there. But you can see how she is gorgeous looking. And I don't know where she's going, so there she is. So if you want to get something different than ball pythons, hopefully that kind of helped you out. And the sizes, so ball pythons, I think adults can see like 4 feet, which is really not that big of a deal. The boas can see 8 to 9, possibly 10. And the Burmese and the Anacondas will see 16 to 18 and weigh a lot. So that is it. I'll see you guys on the next video.